In this fourth chapter of Mastering the Caro Kann, we'll look at how to play against the Panov. So, let's get into it. White goes e4, we go c6, they go now c4. We go d5, they take on d5 with e pawn, c takes d5, and then white goes d4. Now we go, now f6, white goes usually, knight c3, knight c6 we play, they go two choices, either knight f3, which is most popular, or bishop g5. So let's say if they go knight f3. So if they go knight f3, we have this response of bishop d4, taking the knight. Trying to take the knight and taking d4. Then they take on d5 with a pawn on c4. We take back with the knight. Played queen b3. They attack the knight with the knight and queen. We take on f3. They usually take on f3 with a g pawn. Now we go e6. Because the bishop out of the pawn chain, there's no worries about this bishop being blocked in ever. But now white goes queen b7. But don't worry, we go knight e4 and try to do a check and a fork. They go bishop b5 check. They go knight takes b5. They go queen c6. And make sure that you do king e7, because if you do queen e7, there's a rook hanging on a8. So we don't want that. So we go king e7. But don't worry. They go queen b5. Now we go queen e7. So we want to trade queens. They go knight d5. We'll just do queen takes d5. They can take our queen. We'll take with the e pawn. This is a really easy endgame to play for black because white has double isolated f pawns. So going back to this position, why don't we look at the other line, bishop e5? In this case, we go pawn takes c4, bishop takes back, then we go a6, attacking the bishop on d5. They usually do bishop e3 back, because they have an isolated pawn, so if they take on f6, we do want to trade, because when they're only having an isolated pawn, then they want to avoid trades. So they usually go bishop e3 because of that fact. In this case, we go e6. It goes knight f3. We go bishop d6. They castle kingside, we castle kingside, and now white goes a3. So we go b6 to fianchetto the bishop on b7. So white goes queen e2. We go bishop b7. And white goes rook a c1. We go knight e7 to prepare to go to d5 with one of the knights. So white goes usually bishop a6 in this case. Then we go queen c8, which is really scary looking because the rook is on the same file as the queen. But there's no worries at all. So technically is always safe. So if you're worried about knight discovery, let's say knight d5, then we just do bishop a6, attacking the queen. So if they take her queen, then we'll just happily take their queen, attacking this rook. And maybe just ruining the pawn structure. And black is way better. So if they go the other route, knight b5, in this case, we do bishop takes f3, attacking the queen. So let's say if bishop takes c8, we go bishop takes e2, attacking the rook, the bishop, and the knight on b5, and black is way better. So the rook will not be any different. So rook takes on c8, we do the same exact thing. Bishop takes e2, rook takes f8, rook takes f8, and we have really good positions.